Beloved, hear me today, there is a major shift coming. This is not a rumor, this is not a coincidence. Beloved, hear me today, there is a major shift coming. This is not a mere word of excitement or a moment of emotion. This is a divine message that carries weight in the spirit. Something is about to turn. Something long delayed is about to be released. And the heavens have already signed the order. God said, it's all planned for November. You may have been asking, waiting, even doubting whether change would ever come. But the Lord has not forgotten the seeds you planted in faith. He has not ignored the tears that watered those seeds. Every prayer, every sleepless night, every quiet act of obedience was being recorded in heaven. And now, heaven is preparing to respond in ways beyond your imagination. You see, for many of you, this past season has been one of shaking. Things that once felt secure began to move. Plans that seemed solid began to crumble. People you thought would stay forever started to drift away. But hear this clearly, God is not punishing you. He is positioning you. The shaking was never meant to break you. It was meant to shape you. Every closed door was an act of mercy, not rejection. Every delay was divine protection. The enemy wanted you to believe that nothing was happening, that your prayers were in vain. But God was working in silence, arranging every detail, preparing every step for the exact moment He would release His plan. And that moment, child of God, is approaching swiftly. November is not an ordinary month. It is the month where hidden plans meet visible manifestation. It's when what was whispered in prayer will be shouted in testimony. You may not see it yet, but the atmosphere is changing. Heaven's wind is starting to blow in your direction. Even now, behind the scenes, God is moving people, resources, and opportunities into place. What you thought was coincidence is actually divine coordination. Some of you have been asking, why so much resistance? Why so much warfare? Because the enemy always fights hardest before breakthrough. The pressure you've felt lately is not punishment, it's a sign of coming birth. The greater the promise, the greater the push. And right now, in the Spirit, there's a push happening. God is birthing new beginnings, and He's doing it through you. Do not despise this transition. Do not let fear convince you that change is loss. When the winds of heaven blow, they only remove what cannot stay. God says, do not be afraid of the shaking, for the shaking is my signal. I am not destroying, I am aligning. I am not taking away, I am making room for what I've prepared for you. The changes that seem uncomfortable now will soon make sense. You'll look back and realize He was never subtracting. He was making space for the overflow. November will be a month of divine surprises. For some, it will bring restoration where there was once brokenness. For others, it will bring opportunities that have been long delayed. Relationships will be mended, dreams will be revived, and faith will be reignited. It will be the month where you see evidence that God never forgot His promise. You'll begin to understand why the waiting was necessary, because He was aligning everything perfectly so that when your blessing arrived, it wouldn't slip through your fingers. So lift your eyes again, lift your hope again. Heaven is announcing your turnaround. The season of delay is ending, and the season of divine acceleration is beginning. November is not just another page on the calendar. It's a page written by the hand of God Himself. The plans are not random, they are righteous. The timing is not late, it is precise. When the shift comes, it will come suddenly. It will not whisper, it will thunder. And when it happens, you'll know this was not chance. This was divine design. So prepare your heart, stay in faith, keep your spirit open, because when November arrives, heaven's plan will unfold right before your eyes. The shift is already in motion, and it's all part of God's perfect plan. Some of you have been walking through the valley of delay. You've prayed until your voice grew weak. You've believed even when your heart was tired. You've smiled in public but cried in silence, wondering when your breakthrough would come. You've watched others move ahead while you stood still, asking God, "Did you forget me?" But hear this, delay does not mean denial. The valley is not your destination. It is a passage. God has not been silent because he forgot you. He has been silent because he has been working for you. Every step you take through the valley is building something inside you that cannot be built on the mountaintop. You've been learning faith when nothing makes sense. And that kind of faith can move mountains. There are moments when it feels like heaven has gone quiet. But quiet seasons are often proof that God is crafting something powerful behind the scenes. When Joseph was in prison, it looked like his dreams were dead. When Moses was in the desert, it looked like his calling had expired. When David was hiding in caves, it looked like the anointing on his life had been forgotten. But every one of them was in divine preparation. God hides his chosen ones before he reveals them, not to punish them, but to protect the promise until the right time. And I tell you today, your right time is approaching fast. Heaven's clock is moving, and the hour of manifestation is drawing near. When God says it's time, no chain can hold you, no door can stay shut, no power of darkness can resist it. You've been in a season where it looked like everything was standing still, but even the stillness has purpose. God was not delaying you, he was preparing you so that when the door opens, you'd be ready to walk through it with strength, not fear. What looks like a pause in your story is actually a sacred pause in God's symphony. Every instrument in heaven is tuning for your next move. You see, when the word of the Lord declares a major shift, it doesn't happen gently, it comes with movement. The atmosphere begins to rearrange itself. Circumstances begin to bend toward divine order. You might feel the pressure increasing, and you might even see things shaking around you. But don't mistake the shaking for disaster. It's a sign that heaven is rearranging the pieces to make room for your promise. God never builds on unstable ground, so he shakes what cannot stand to make space for what he is about to establish. Faith always sees before sight. The eyes of faith recognize what natural eyes cannot yet perceive. Right now, your spirit can feel something coming even if your mind can't explain it. There's a stirring in your soul that says, something's changing. That's not your imagination, it's the Holy Spirit preparing you for what's next. You may not have the full picture, but God does. The path may not be clear to you, but it's perfectly mapped out to him. And the more you trust, the more you'll begin to see how everything fits together. So don't let weariness steal your faith. Don't let frustration silence your worship. When your heart grows tired, remind yourself, the God who began this work is faithful to complete it. He hasn't brought you this far to leave you here. Every unanswered prayer is a seed that's still growing underground, waiting for the season of harvest, and that season is close. Soon, you will see why it had to take time. You will see why doors closed, why people left, why plans failed, because none of them were part of the masterpiece God was painting. The delay was a design, the pain was a process, and when the shift happens, it will make sense. You'll look back and say, now I see. Every valley, every tear, every waiting moment, it was all leading me here. So take heart. The waiting season is ending. A divine acceleration is about to begin, and no power on earth can stop what heaven has already planned. And the Lord says, do not be afraid of the shaking, for the shaking is my signal. I am not destroying, I am aligning. I am not taking away, I am making room for what I've prepared for you. These words echo through the Spirit like a trumpet before victory. The shaking that you feel right now is not punishment, it's positioning. God shakes what is temporary to reveal what is eternal. He moves what is unstable to plant what will last. Every tremor in your life is evidence that heaven's construction has begun. The shaking is not meant to tear you apart. It's meant to tear apart what was never meant to stay. When God begins to shift things, everything that was built on weak foundations starts to tremble. Relationships that were rooted in convenience instead of purpose begin to fade. Plans that were built on comfort instead of calling start to fall apart. And it hurts. Oh, it hurts to lose what you thought you needed. But child of God, sometimes He must remove what you think is essential so He can give you what is eternal. You may not understand it now, but one day you'll look back and thank Him for every closed door, every ending, every sudden change. Because behind what felt like loss, God was preparing a greater gain. When heaven moves, it often disrupts the earth beneath us. What you call chaos, God calls construction. He is rearranging the furniture of your life so that everything fits His divine blueprint. Some things have to move for His plan to manifest. That's why, in this season, you can't panic, you must praise. Don't run from the shaking, rise within it. Don't complain about what's shifting, celebrate what's being revealed. Because when God shakes, it's not to destroy your life, it's to reveal your destiny. Do you remember when the walls of Jericho fell? They didn't crumble because of man's power, they fell because of a divine vibration, a holy shaking. The same power that shook those walls is shaking your situation now. Not to bring ruin, but to bring release. The walls that surrounded your promise are beginning to crack. The barriers that kept you bound are beginning to break. You might not see the full collapse yet, but the foundation has already been weakened. Every shout of praise, every act of obedience, every moment of faith is causing another tremor in the spirit. And soon the walls will come down. The shaking is also revealing your strength. It's uncovering what's real inside you. You don't truly know the power of your faith until it's been tested by turbulence. You don't know the depth of your worship until it's been refined by pain. God allows the shaking to separate the superficial from the spiritual, to remove fear and reveal faith. And while others are losing balance, those who are rooted in His word will stand firm. You will see people around you shifting, situations around you changing, but you will remain unshaken because your foundation is not built on sand, it's built on the rock. So when things start to move, don't resist, rejoice. When life feels unstable, remember, God is stabilizing your future by unsettling your present. He's not against you, He's working for you. He's not taking away your stability, He's redefining it. The things you thought were secure, but weren't meant for you are falling apart, so that what is meant for you can finally fit. The friendships, jobs, habits, or mindsets that can't go with you into the next season are being removed with purpose. Let them go with grace. The shaking may look like loss, but it's actually liberation. So lift up your head and trust the process. The same God who allowed the shaking will also bring the settling. When the dust clears, you'll see new order, new opportunity, new strength. What felt like breaking will reveal building. What felt like an ending will unfold as the beginning of something divine. The Lord is saying to your heart, I am not finished with you, I am preparing you. So when the shaking intensifies, let your faith rise higher. Praise louder, believe deeper, because the shaking is not your destruction, it's your announcement. It's the signal that heaven is moving and your breakthrough is on the way. November will not just be another month. It will not come quietly or pass like all the others. It will arrive with divine intent, carrying the fulfillment of prayers long whispered and promises long delayed. It will be a turning point, a month when what was once distant suddenly becomes visible, when what was once hard begins to flow with ease. Heaven has already marked it on the calendar. Angels have been dispatched, and the wind of God is blowing in your direction. You may not see it yet, but the atmosphere is pregnant with change. You can feel it in your spirit. Something is stirring. Something new is being born. November will be a month of divine restoration. Things that seemed lost will reappear in ways you couldn't imagine. Relationships that ended painfully will find healing. Families torn by misunderstanding will begin to mend. Hearts that were hardened by disappointment will soften again under the warmth of grace. God is not just restoring what you lost, He's upgrading it. You will look back and realize that what left your life was necessary to make room for something greater. The Lord is saying, I will restore the years the locust has eaten. I will make up for the seasons that felt wasted. Every tear you cried was a seed, and November will be your harvest month. For some, it will be a month of financial turnaround. Doors that have been locked will swing wide open. Opportunities you thought were gone will resurface, this time prepared for you. What once felt impossible will suddenly become accessible. Debts will be cleared, new ideas will find support, and supernatural provision will appear from unexpected places. You will see how God has been working behind the scenes all along, orchestrating connections, aligning people, and setting up moments of favor. What once required struggle will now come by grace. November will carry the fragrance of overflow. For others, it will be a month of healing and renewal. Pain that has lingered for years, physical, emotional, and spiritual, will begin to lift. The Lord is touching the places that no medicine could reach, the wounds that no words could soothe. You will wake up one morning and realize the heaviness has gone, the fear has lost its grip, the bitterness has melted away. It will be as if the sunlight of heaven has finally broken through the storm clouds that hovered over your soul. This healing won't just be for your body or mind. It will be a healing of your hope. You'll believe again. You'll dream again. You'll love again. And for many, November will be a month of revelation. Questions that have haunted you will find answers. Confusion will be replaced by clarity. You'll understand why the waiting was so long, why the path was so hard, and why certain doors had to close. God will reveal that every delay was a divine alignment, that He was never denying you, He was perfecting His plan for you. The lessons you learned in pain will now become wisdom you carry into purpose. What didn't make sense before will become a masterpiece of divine logic. So don't walk into November with fear, walk in with expectation. This is not just another chapter, it's a new book altogether. The sound of breakthrough will echo in every area of your life. You will find peace in places that once brought you pain. You will see open doors where there were only walls. You will watch as the very things that once worked against you begin to work for you. Heaven has appointed this time. It's not random, it's right on schedule. November will be the month where the story turns in your favor. Where what was once uncertain becomes undeniable, you will say with confidence, surely the Lord has done this, surely His timing is perfect. So lift up your eyes, lift up your voice, and lift up your faith. Don't just wait for November, prepare for it. Because when it comes, it will not come quietly. It will come carrying your restoration, your revelation, your healing, and your breakthrough. The shift is coming, and November is the stage where heaven's plan will finally unfold. Mark my words, the old season is expiring, and the new season is arriving on schedule. Heaven's timeline cannot be delayed by human hands. When God declares an ending, nothing can extend it. When he announces a beginning, nothing can stop it. The calendar of heaven is not bound by the rhythms of earth. What once seemed stagnant will soon begin to move with divine acceleration. You've been in a long night, but the sun is already rising. You've been walking through a chapter that felt endless, but the author has written the next page, and it begins with restoration, renewal, and release. The old season has served its purpose. Its lessons are complete, its trials have refined you, and its tears have watered the ground for your next harvest. Every ending ordained by God carries the seed of a new beginning. You are not losing, you are transitioning. The people who left were never meant to stay beyond their assignment. The doors that closed were not rejections, they were redirections. The disappointments you faced were divine disruptions designed to move you closer to destiny. The things that broke your heart were actually breaking chains that held you back. What you thought was falling apart was really falling into place. The divine hand that closed one chapter is the same hand that will open the next, and it will be greater than before. The delay was divine. The detour was direction. The disappointment was preparation. There were things you could not carry into the next season, and God, in His mercy, removed them even when it hurt. He was not ignoring your prayers. He was answering them in a way that required patience. Sometimes when God is preparing you for the promise, He doesn't just add, He subtracts. He prunes so you can bear more fruit. And though pruning feels painful, it is proof of potential. You have been refined by fire, and that fire has not consumed you. It has purified you. You're coming out stronger, wiser, and ready. Now the time has come. Heaven is shifting gears. The doors that once resisted you are about to recognize you. Opportunities that overlooked you are about to call your name. What was once blocked will suddenly open. What was once slow will accelerate. You won't have to chase what God sends, it will find you. Because in this season, divine favor is not something you will strive for, it will rest on you. There is a momentum gathering around your obedience. God is breathing life into everything that once seemed dead. Dreams buried beneath disappointment are being resurrected. Promises that felt distant are being drawn close. You are stepping into divine timing, not too early, not too late, but right on time. November will not whisper your breakthrough, it will announce it. You will not have to explain what God is doing, it will be visible. Those who doubted you will witness what faith can do. Those who counted you out will watch as grace counts you in. You will walk into rooms you once prayed just to see. The favor that is coming will not make sense to the natural mind, because it was never meant to, it's supernatural. So lift up your faith. Don't drag the pain of the old season into the promise of the new one. Let go of what ended so you can embrace what's arriving. God is saying, behold, I make all things new. He's not resuming what was lost. He's replacing it with something better. This is the moment where everything begins to shift in your favor. The pressure is breaking, the tide is turning, and the weight of waiting is lifting. You've cried your last night of confusion. You've fought your last battle alone. The new season has been released from heaven, and it carries your name on it. Get ready, the sound of change is already in the air. The doors are unlocking, the tables are turning, and what once worked against you will now work for you. November is not coming with uncertainty, it's arriving with purpose, precision, and promise. You've waited long enough. The preparation was necessary, but the manifestation is near. This is your appointed time. The shift is here, and it is unstoppable. Lift up your faith. Lift up your expectations. Lift up your worship, because the heavens are moving in your favor. The atmosphere of your life is being rewritten by divine command. You cannot walk into this next season with the weight of yesterday pressing on your shoulders. Faith must rise higher than fear, expectation must outrun disappointment, and worship must become your weapon. The greater the shift that's coming, the greater the preparation of your heart must be. You cannot enter a new season with the same mindset that carried you through the last one. You have to think higher, believe deeper, and expect more. God is not just trying to change your circumstances, He's trying to elevate your spirit. There are moments when heaven begins to move, and the earth beneath you starts to tremble. You can feel it in your spirit before you see it in your reality. That's the sign that something divine is unfolding. You might feel pressure, restlessness, or uncertainty, but don't mistake those feelings for defeat. They are the birth pains of breakthrough. Every great move of God begins with an invisible stirring, a holy unrest, a divine discomfort that pushes you out of the familiar and into the miraculous. When you sense that stirring, don't shrink back, stretch forward. Don't speak fear, speak faith. Don't allow doubt to build walls around your promise. God is moving in your favor even when you can't trace His hand. Lift up your faith, because faith is the bridge between promise and manifestation. You cannot walk into what you've prayed for if you don't first see it with your spirit. Faith declares it's already done, even when evidence says otherwise. Faith praises before the miracle, not after it. Faith sings in the storm, not when the sun is out. So even if the circumstances haven't changed yet, worship like they already have. Heaven responds to expectation. Miracles are drawn to the sound of faith. The more you believe, the faster the shift accelerates. Lift up your expectations, because God meets you at the level of your belief. If you expect little, you receive little, but if you expect greatly, you attract greatness. Stop measuring your future by your past. Stop allowing old disappointments to limit new dreams. The God who spoke worlds into existence has not run out of power concerning you. He has not forgotten your name or misplaced your miracle. There are blessings with your name written on them, and they're waiting for you to believe enough to claim them. The heavens are not closed. Your faith is the key that unlocks them. Lift up your worship, because worship is the language of victory. When you praise in uncertainty, you shift the atmosphere around you. Worship invites God's presence, and where His presence abides, miracles become natural. The enemy loses power when you praise. Confusion loses grip when you lift your voice in thanksgiving. Worship turns warfare into witness. It transforms waiting into strength. When you lift your hands, heaven leans closer. When you open your mouth, chains start to fall. You may not realize it, but every word of praise is a weapon cutting through spiritual resistance. Heaven is moving in your favor even now. The delay you felt was not denial, it was divine timing. The silence was not absence, it was strategy. God was aligning the right people, preparing the right moments, and building strength within you so that when the blessing came, you could sustain it. The shift that's coming is not small, it's monumental. You're not just entering a new chapter, you're stepping into a completely new story. So don't hold your head down another day. Don't let fear whisper that it's too late. The same God who raised the dead, who calmed the storm, who multiplied loaves and fish, He is still working in your life. Your future is not behind you. It's in front of you, and it's bright. Lift your eyes, lift your hands. Lift your heart. Heaven is not silent, it's singing over you. The move has already begun, and it's moving in your favor. This is not the time to shrink back. This is the moment to rise up, to believe again, to expect again, and to worship like everything you've prayed for is already unfolding, because it is.